Welcome back to Trump Tuesday episode 16. Let's get right into the news. Let's start off with the biggest news this week. Trump is supposedly taking the miracle cure that he has been proposing. And that is what you think it is, hydroxychloroquine. How do we know this? Take a look.
A lot of good things have come out about the hydroxy. A lot of good things have come out. I happen to be taking it. I'm taking it, hydroxychloroquine.
When?
Right now, yeah. A couple of weeks ago, I started taking it. Because I think it's good. I've heard a lot of good stories.
Can you explain, sir, though, what is the evidence that it has a preventative effect?
Here we go. You ready? Here's my evidence. I get a lot of positive calls about it.
Yes, Trump's reasoning behind taking the drug is he has heard a lot of good things about it and I receive positive calls about it. Now, as I explained before, hydroxychloroquine may have many negative side effects. A French study found that hydroxychloroquine doesn't help patients with coronavirus, and the study found that the drug was linked to higher rates of deaths in coronavirus patients, and the side effects can potentially include agitation, insomnia, confusion, mania, hallucinations, paranoia, as well as lasting psychiatric and neurological symptoms. So either he's lying about it or he's been taking it his entire life. But seriously though, before it was Trump advertising, and now that he's admitted to taking this drug, many others will follow in his advice, just like Trump's disinfectant injection comment. Or in another sense, he's just lying, which wouldn't be surprising either. Anyways, Trump was asked about his coronavirus test results, and his answer, you would seem, wouldn't be complicated, but somehow he turned his answer into the most confusing sentences ever to come out of his mouth. Or maybe not, but close.
I'm still here, and I tested very positively in another sense. So this morning, I tested positively toward negative, right? So, no, I tested perfectly this morning. Meaning I tested negative. But that's a way of saying it. Positively toward the negative.
What is he trying to do? Just say that you tested negative. There isn't any in between. Now, the nation is still experiencing a major number of deaths, and for many, their fingers are pointed right at Trump. And his response to the catastrophic death toll he and his administration has caused made him to say this at a press briefing.
When we have a lot of cases, I don't look at that as a bad thing. I look at that as, in a certain respect, as being a good thing because it means our testing is much better. I view it as a badge of honor. Really, it's a badge of honor.
Trump considers the death toll of the United States as a badge of honor for him. I mean, imagine having a president this unsympathetic. Imagine how all the families that have lost someone in this virus feel. Trump is like that one Google Home your family bought 4 months ago and it was good for like the first 4 days, and then it just became useless and nobody uses it anymore. Anyways, you remember when Mike Pence visited the Mayo Clinic without wearing a mask despite mask guidelines? And you remember when Trump visited a mask factory without wearing a mask, saying that he wore it backstage? Well, Trump visited a Ford Motor plant making ventilators in Michigan, and well, he didn't wear a mask. Surpriser. When asked, this is how he responded.
Mr. President, there was a lot of interest about whether you would end up wearing a mask today. Could you just take us through your thought process of why you decided not to wear a mask?
I had one on before. I wore one in this back area, but I didn't want to give the press the pleasure of seeing it.
Why would you not be wearing it here, sir?
Not necessary here. Well, everybody's been tested and I've been tested.
So what if everyone's tested? You still have to wear a mask. I mean, you said it yourself. Something can happen between tests where you catch the virus and then you test again and test positive. Despite that, even the Michigan Attorney General wrote a letter prior to the visit asking Trump to wear a mask, explaining anyone who has potentially been recently exposed, including the President of the United States, has not only a legal responsibility but also a social and moral responsibility to take reasonable precautions. Okay, you know Trump is going to follow that. Anything with the words legal, social, moral, and responsibility is not in Trump's dictionary. Anyways, it's been a while. Let's get into some good news. A 99-year-old British war veteran, Tom Moore, recently completed 100 laps in his garden while raising over $6 million. Tom was asked about what to take away from his endeavors, and this was his response.
Everybody has some kindness somewhere. Please expend your kindness to everyone that you possibly can. Give everybody a little smile and see if you can get a smile back.
That is amazing. It's great to see some happiness in a time like this. You know, we could have avoided this crisis that we are facing now if we didn't have an incompetent president in office and a man who blames his failures on others. We need a sympathetic president, one that realizes the problem and acts accordingly to face it, much like other countries such as South Korea and New Zealand. Once this is all over and the president is finally out of office, either from the 2020 election or in 2024, I can only
view it as a badge of honor. Really, it's a badge of honor.
thank you for watching and see you next week on Trump Tuesday.